LeWeb Paris etkinliğinde söyleşilerimize devam ediyoruz. Benim şahsen sevdiğim servislerden bir tanesi BlaBlaCar, ride sharing sitelerinden bir tanesi. Avrupa'nın da en büyüğü bu arada. BlaBlaCar'ın Uluslararası Pazarlama Müdürüyle karşılaştık. Cyrielle Callot yanımızda. Did I pronounce it well?
I think you did. I sort of understood my name. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, personally, I like BlaBlaCar a lot, and I used it once from Seville to Lisbon, and it was an amazing experience. Once only, but it was amazing. Maybe I was lucky. I don't know. And speaking of the travels, we find the driver. The driver shares their service, the car, to minimize their costs traveling from point A to B. But I paid the money directly to the driver. My first question: if I pay the money to the driver, how do you make money?
Sure. So maybe I can come back to a little point about BlaBlaCar. So what we do is actually ride sharing, but what we call intercity ride sharing. So we actually connect big cities within Europe, and the average distance is something like 200 miles or 350 kilometers. So basically it would be someone going from Madrid to Valencia, or London to Manchester, or Paris to Lille. And what we decided to do in terms of how people pay and how we actually make money is we tested in France a system where people could actually pay online. So what happens is that the driver offers the seat online. So they say, I'm driving from London to Manchester. I have 3 empty seats in my car. You can book them. And the passenger come to the website. They can book online and say, okay, I'm going to pay 20 euros or 20 pounds to go there. And they're going to pay an additional fee. So they're going to pay 22 euros. And when the trip occurs and everything went well, then the driver is going to get the 20 and we're going to keep 2. So it's a commission-based model where we earn money. But the very good thing with this also is that it allows to have more trust, because we do more checks on the passengers, more checks on the driver. They actually commit to putting their bank account online and so on. So we found that this system was super successful in France, and it allows us to really boom in France and reach out to people that were not just early adopters. And we decided that we probably will apply that into the rest of Europe. So I guess where you traveled was, you said, was in Portugal and Spain?
Yeah, from Spain to Portugal.
Yeah. So Spain and Portugal are not yet, don't yet have this system, but we're considering opening it there.
So in France, you don't accept now the direct payments?
We don't accept the direct payment anymore, because we found that it was also much more convenient for users to go from the website. So we manage actually the seat inventory. So when people book online, then the driver doesn't have to take care of going back to the website saying that the seat is booked. So when the 3 seats are booked, for instance, he doesn't need to do anything. Everything's handled on our side. And also he doesn't have to ask for money in the car. So that's a great thing for a relationship between drivers and passengers during the trip.
Yeah, so you're based in Paris, and France is your premier market, right?
Right, so at the very beginning we were only a French company, but it turns out it grew really well outside of France. So now 2/3 of our new members actually come from outside of France, and we are available in 10 countries. We have 5 million members, and we transport over Europe 700,000 people per month actually. So that's bigger than the Eurostar, for instance. Yes.
Cheaper than that.
And much cheaper than the Eurostar. We have like fixed prices, and you can travel less minutes to many locations in Europe with BlaBlaCar, and that's really cheap.
I always used to complain about the train prices in Europe because they're extremely expensive anyways. You said how many countries? 10 countries?
Yes, we are in 10 countries, and if I was to quote the main ones, so we're mainly in continental Europe. We're also in the UK, so we're in France, Germany, Spain, the UK, Portugal, and
Are you planning to? Are you planning to, I don't know, grow into the United States or further to the east?
Well, we're considering other markets, of course, seeing that the growth is pretty promising in the existing countries. So we're actually looking at what we could do east, maybe Turkey at some point.
Do you have any plans?
Well, we don't have plans yet, but we'd sure be happy to know if some people are interested to try that and to discuss it, because of course it's a great country with habits similar to the ones we see on our platform already, and it's a very booming market, so there's probably something to do there.
So BlaBlaCar is very successful actually. It's the #1 now ride-sharing service in Europe. Do you personally yourself use BlaBlaCar?
Yeah, I use it very often. So my main routes are actually to go back and see my family near Lyon. So I do Paris to Lyon. I go to visit my friends in Geneva, or I go to Bretagne in France.
Do you tell the driver that you're the international marketing manager of BlaBlaCar?
Yeah, well, sometimes I'm even the driver myself, so it's a hard one because I'm driving and I also tell them. So the story is often hard to tell, but it's great. I mean, people are super excited to see who are the real people behind that. Sometimes they just think it's a simple website and there's no one behind it, but there's actually 100 people now, and we're working very hard to make the service the better. And yeah, we have great conversations and great feedbacks also.
Nice way of direct marketing. It's nice. I hope I will see you sometime. I mean, personally, also as a service as BlaBlaCar in Turkey. I hope.
Well, I'd be happy to discuss that with you. If you have any recommendations or considerations, we'd be happy to know more about that.
Anytime, and thanks a lot for joining.
So thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you.